What's going on, fish nerds? Today I'm going to tell you about a piece of equipment that's cheap and could save your fish's life. Alright guys, so if you saw my last video, I'll link it up here at the top. You know that I lost a few fish. And the reason I lost those fish was because there was no air being pumped into the tank. I had medications in there. Maybe if I didn't have the medications, they would have lasted longer without air. I don't know, but I know the air supply got cut off and 3 out of 6 fish in the tank died. You know, that was a fluke thing. The airline got pinched off, so, you know, something got set on top of it. You know, things like that. But what do you do when just your power goes out and there's nothing you can do about it? You're calling the power company, they're not getting the power back on. And if it's just an hour or two, even several hours, generally your fish are gonna be okay for just a few hours during a regular power outage. But especially say you live in hurricane territory or something like that. And actually, I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. And we actually, several years ago when I was a teenager, when I was still in high school, there was a hurricane, and by the time it got up here, it was still a category 1 as far as the wind gusts and everything. And I mean, it destroyed everything out here. And we went 3 or 4 days without power up here, which is unheard of for a storm to cause lack of power for that long here in Cincinnati. But it's something that happened. You know, we went most of a week without any power. You know, what do you do when you've got fish tanks and you're out of power for several days? Enter the Marina battery powered air pump. This thing can absolutely be a lifesaver. I have not had to use it due to a power outage. I actually bought these, one to have just in case, but also when I went to pick up the 75-gallon tank and all the fish that came with that, I had those fish in 5-gallon buckets, and I was aerating those buckets with these. I bought 3 of these. I had 3 5-gallon buckets and kept those fish aerated on the 2-hour drive home, and you know, it worked out great. And I was so impressed with how well these things work. I actually put this thing to the test. I threw 2 Duracells in there. It takes D batteries. I threw 2 Duracells in there and just left it on to see how long this thing would run, and I got 3 full days out of this battery powered air pump. That's 3 solid days on just 1 set of batteries. I mean, it takes 2 batteries, but with 2 batteries in there, I got 3 full days of air coming out of this air pump. And honestly, the amount of air that it puts out is really impressive. I mean, it churns the water. And it comes with one of these little round air stones. You know, it's nothing fancy, but it absolutely gets the job done. And it does come with, it says 18 inches of airline. You know, it's not enough to really amount to anything, but chances are, if you're in a position where you have to use this at home, what you're gonna end up doing is just unplugging the airline from your, you know, your Tetra Whisper filter or whatever you're using on your tank, and you're just gonna hook this up in its place. So it's not like you need it to come with a lot of airline or anything like that. You're just gonna hook this up in place of the other one. Now, I will say this thing is not the quietest air pump I've ever heard by any stretch of the imagination, but you don't really need it to be, because it's not like it's going to be running all the time. This is, you know, emergency situations or for traveling with your fish, that kind of thing. It's not something you're just going to have on all the time. This is not your everyday air pump. This is for backup situations, emergencies, power outages, traveling, that kind of thing. So it doesn't really need to be that quiet. What I would much rather it work well and be reliable and last for several days than to be quiet, if we're going to be honest about it. So it does what I want a backup air pump to do. And here's the thing, it's cheap. You can get these on Amazon. You can either get them in a 2-pack for $20.99. I'll have that link in the description below. Or if you are a Prime member, you can get these for $7.48 a piece as an add-on item. What an add-on item is I think if you're not a Prime member, you have to spend $35 in Prime items in order for to get the $748, the add-on item price. Or if you are a Prime member, it's only a $25 purchase. And so you could buy, you know, 3 or 4 of these, however many, 3 would not be $25. But so you buy 2 of these and, you know, whatever else you want to buy off Amazon, and throw that in your cart, and you got 2 of these for $748 a piece, and you're set. So I will have that link in the description as well for the $748 add-on item. It's just $748 a piece for these things, which really, for as handy as they are and the heartache that they can save you in an emergency situation, if you don't have a battery powered air pump, whether it's this one or another one, you need something as a backup in case of emergencies. If the power goes out, you need something. And I mean, honestly, ideally, what you want is like a generator so you can actually power the entire fish room, you know, keep heaters going if you need to and that kind of thing, you know, the whole 9 yards. But if you're on a budget, you can't afford to buy a generator, at least pay $7.48 for a battery operated air pump and have something on hand. And so that is your pro tip for today. Have a backup air pump for when your power goes out. And even if you just want to get these for transporting fish, I recommend them. I have not had any problems with any of the 3 I've had. Like I said, I put it through the test and I got 3 solid days out of Duracell batteries. Your mileage may vary if you use other batteries. I like Duracell. But link will be in the description below if you want one of these. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. You guys are awesome. God bless you, fish nerds. I'll see you next time.